Hello, everyone. Welcome to the English Talk podcast. I'm your host, Robin Shaw. In my podcasts, I like to give good information about learning English, and I hope my guest today helps you to know more about studying English. And my guest today is a student of mine, and I've known him and I've been teaching him for a few years. And he is Hyungwoo Jo. And Hyungwoo Jo, welcome.
Thank you. Nice to have a good opportunity here.
Okay. And with Hyungwoo, I'm going to talk about how he studied English, because he improved his English in a very fast time. Just a couple of years, he went from a low level to quite advanced level. So we're going to find out from him how he did that. And so we first met a few years ago, and your level was not so good, if I remember. You speak better now, and they will hear you soon. But what I want you to do is tell us your story. So how did you learn English? So go back to when you first started studying English until now, and tell us the story.
Okay, until high school, I was not interested in learning English at all. And I went to college, and there was a professor who was from Australia, and I first got to know her. Her. She was...
Okay.
Yeah, just as an FYI, she was beautiful, and she was really authentic. She was like an angel at that time.
Okay, it's good motivation to study English.
As a guy student. And one day, I wanted to talk to her, but I couldn't because she was an English speaker, and I was not able to speak English at that time. And one day, I was always staring at her, far away from her. And one day, she approached me, asked me, "Hello, Hyungwoo, how are you?" And I said, I'm fine," with a strong Korean accent. And I wanted to get to know her more, but I couldn't because of my English ability. And then there was a great motivation that I have to study English harder to get to know her. I want to get close to her, not just as a female, someone who attracts me, and just because someone that I want to get to know her. So that was the motivation that I determined that I have to study much harder.
To talk to the beautiful female teacher.
Yep.
Yeah. And then after, so did she help you with English, or?
Yes, and I asked her that I want to talk to her after class, and we had some small talk. And by listening to her and by asking her some questions to solve my curiosities, I prepared some questions that I want to ask her. And because I don't want to be looked like a whole student, I prepared looking at some dictionary, and with grammar, I looked at some sentence, and I just copied and utilized that sentence as my question to ask her. So in other words, I just prepared a question what to ask in advance.
Okay.
Yep, and then I asked her. She answered me back, and I tried to focus on her answers.
He's speaking very fast now.
Okay.
I don't think you spoke that fast when I first met you. Certainly, you didn't speak that fast when I first met you.
I take that as a compliment. Thank you. And that was the motivation. And so once I see myself's improvement in English ability, I started searching out something that I can further improve my English. And I found out an app called Meetup. And I found out something that I can practice or improve my English.
All right, the Meetup app.
Yep.
I know that app, and maybe some of my audience doesn't know that app. So what is the Meetup app exactly?
That is an app that we can find out someone who is interested in a same area that I want to join.
Interested in what? What kind of areas?
For example, any hobbies.
Okay.
Yeah. My interest was about English, so I checked English section and I found a club which is speech club that I can practice my English,
Okay.
which is called Toastmasters.
The Toastmasters?
Yep. Have you heard about it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's an international app. So I'm pretty sure.
What is the Toastmasters?
It's a speech club that we can practice. We can give our speech, and we can listen to the speaker's speech, and that process is really crucial.
Well, how long were you in Toastmasters?
Approximately 6 months.
6 months. And how did Toastmasters help you to improve?
As I just said, it's a speech club. So basically, in order to prepare for my speech, I need to write down my script, which is improving my writing ability. And I need to speak, therefore I need to practice by myself, which is improving my speaking ability. And by listening to others' speech, I'm naturally improving my listening ability, listening the vocabularies that I haven't heard before. So those 3 core things, writing, speaking, and listening, were significant in improving my English.
Through the Toastmasters.
Toastmasters.
Okay, that's great to hear. Yeah, I know. I recommend them to you too. They're very helpful. If there's Toastmasters every city in the world almost, and seek them out. It's not an English class, as you said. It's a speech class. Join them. This will certainly help. This group will certainly help you improve your English speaking and, as you said, listening ability. All right. So after that, you're planning to go to America to study.
Correct.
So how did you prepare to go to America?
There is a certain test that is required as a criterion to obtain that admission from that university, which is called TOEFL.
Yeah, TOEFL test.
And I had to prepare for that TOEFL test in order to submit my application.
Yeah,
that was a requirement. Yep.
How did you prepare for the TOEFL test?
I actually have not prepared for that TOEFL test, but I prepared for general English. I write something in general, not preparing just for the TOEFL test. For example, I used to work for a professor and as an assistant, and I asked him that I want to just talk for a minute about one topic for a second, just to prepare for the TOEFL test. I haven't go to any separate school that's preparing the training students to prepare for the TOEFL test. I just asked my professor that I want to practice for 1 minute, because that's part of the test that's required to TOEFL.
So you didn't directly study questions, or no, you just studied general English, improved your general English.
Correct.
Okay, and obviously you were successful with the TOEFL test because you're studying in America now.
Yes.
How long have you been studying in America?
It's been 11 months.
11 months. And again, what are you studying in America?
I'm studying, I'm majoring in commercial aviation, which is to become a pilot.
Okay. So, yeah, I remember you before you went to America, and I'm talking to you now, and there is a really big difference in your English ability. So 11 months in America has been amazing to help you improve your English. So what happened in America? How did you improve so fast?
First of all, my exposure to English, including people, culture, food, everything, experience.
But I have a lot of other students that go to Canada or America for 1 year, sometimes 2 years, and their English doesn't improve so much. So what makes you different than them?
I actually don't know any of international students in America.
What does that mean? You don't?
Because some international students go to study abroad in order to study English. But because I prepared for that admission of the university to enter as a regular undergraduate student, I jump-started in a regular class with other native English speakers.
Okay. So you don't talk to many international students?
I do not know any of international students.
You just try to focus on or talk to or befriend native speakers?
Correct. Not intentionally, but naturally.
What about other Korean students? Come on.
I saw some, but I didn't get to have any opportunities to talk to them. I could have.
I know Koreans like to stick together abroad. You didn't hang out with Koreans?
Because there was not necessary. Because I was busy enough to focus on my stuff.
Okay.
Yep. The time didn't permit to get to know more people.
All right. So yeah, America was amazing to help you so much. That experience there has improved your English a lot. Do you have any advice to other people who are struggling to improve their English? What would you tell them?
The biggest advice, if I can offer, so I believe that first, motivation is the most critical in starting and improving my English ability.
Well, your motivation was a pretty professor.
What my point is, I didn't start studying English in order to prepare for a test.
Okay.
But so many friends around me are just studying English to pass a test or to gain a high score.
Okay, so
to get a job, to transfer university, or to get an admission.
That's a good point. Your motivation was not just a test, but it was to actually communicate.
Correct, with someone that I'm interested in. So, not just because someone that I'm interested in.
But I have a lot of students around the world, and some of them, never met a native speaker. There's no native speakers around them in their town or village. So how can they get motivated?
Something else that I also tried was using an internet or a phone app, so I can approach and I can get to have a chance to talk to native English speakers through the app or the PenPal website that I can use.
Okay. I guess the last question here is: Do you look at any English grammar books, or do you study English now?
No, I do not study, or I have never opened any English grammar books at all.
Okay, so everything you've done is acquiring English.
Correct. I just read something, I naturally copy that structure, and I naturally acquire, that is the thing.
Do you think everyone can do it like you?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, I believe so too. Okay. All right, thank you, man. Your English is amazing. I'm very surprised to listen to you today.
Thank you.
You've done a really good job, and I'm very proud of you as your teacher. And I hope you continue to improve your English. It's not perfect yet, but I'm not perfect yet either. But it's a lifetime process, so keep going, man.
Thank you very much, and thanks for the opportunity to share my story.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you for watching us and listening. I hope you guys learned something today, and I'll see you in the next podcast.